Oh hi, thanks for watching my video. So we got another update live stream today. It wasn't long, only about 20 minutes, but to be honest I actually much preferred this one to the first Behind the Sims Summit live stream. I guess it depends on taste, but I appreciated having information delivered to me without too much fluff and pointless cutaways. The first live stream was a bit much for me personally, but this time they just kind of got on with it and told us the updates. The first section was dedicated to Project Renee, i.e. The Sims 5. So Sim Guru Grant came on set and gave us a bit of information on this. I think he was trying to do a bit at the beginning, but it didn't really land. They both just seemed a bit awkward. I feel like if you're gonna do a bit, you really have to commit to it for it to be funny. But oh well, it was cute, whatever. So he said that the project was still years away, which makes me think that we're in for at least a 3 or possibly 4 year wait. Admittedly, I don't know much about game development, but given that in the past, the Sims games have come out around 4 years after the previous one, it makes me think that planning for The Sims 5 didn't start until several years into The Sims 4's run. He confirmed that a small group of players have been able and will continue to playtest a few of the existing gameplay features. He touched on the level of customization in Build and Buy, which we kind of already knew from the clip that was played in the first live stream, but he did also add that even Build and Buy would have multiplayer functionality, so multiple people could furnish the same home at the same time. He again reiterated that the game would be fully functional on both mobile phones and PC. The host thankfully brought up the skepticism within the community about whether or not allowing this game to be fully functional on mobile too might make the experience a lot more shallow, and from my perspective, I'm far more skeptical now based off of the way he answered this question. I know it's still early development, but to make the decision to make the game cross-platform means that they would have had to consider how gameplay would work and what compromises they would have to make for it to be fully functional. Grant didn't really give any reassurance with gameplay at all. He just said it's a huge challenge, but we're excited to remove the barriers for people to play The Sims. He did say that there would be a difference between the platforms, so on PC for Build and Buy you'll be able to fully customise furniture and have the full PC experience. But then on mobile you can also use Build and Buy, but it just may not be as detailed as what you can do on PC. But like I said, even though gameplay hasn't been created yet, they would still have had to at least have an idea of how the game itself would work on both platforms. But he didn't say anything about gameplay, which makes me wonder whether The Sims 5 will lean even more into the home decorating simulator rather than the full life simulator experience that it was in earlier games. I think as time goes by and we get more information on this, I'll probably feel a lot more positive about The Sims 5, but all I'm thinking right now is that the game will look very basic, like a mobile game, and the gameplay will be basic, like a mobile game. But I'm ready to be pleasantly surprised. I know I'm a pessimist when it comes to The Sims, so I guess we'll see what happens. One thing I did find reassuring is that he confirmed that multiplayer for The Sims 5 will be completely optional. It's not an MMO, and if you want to play as a single player, you can, just like the previous games. We then got an update on Sims Mobile announcing that The Sims Mobile is getting a disco plumb bob, a treasure hunt with new objects available to celebrate The Sims' birthday, and a festival event hosted by a new NPC called Jenny. The Sims Freeplay also has been updated with 4 new songs added, and an extra area is being added to the neighbourhood. Those updates didn't really mean a lot to me as someone that doesn't play The Sims on mobile. But if you're watching this and didn't watch the live stream, those are the updates for those games. Then we moved on to what I personally tuned in for, the Infants update, coming March 14th. So we got a closer look at what the infants are going to look like. Infant faces look very similar to toddlers, but they are noticeably smaller than toddlers, as you would expect. They crawl around and they can be picked up and carried, as infants should. Sims will be able to hold infants while sitting down, and they can pass them over to another Sim. There will also be ways for infants to interact with every life stage as well, which is good to know. So they'll have interactions with children and toddlers, as well as cats and dogs. There was no mention of elders, but I'm assuming for elders it would be exactly the same as adults anyway. It looks like infants can be created and customized in Creator Sim just like the other life stages except babies, and they'll have their own traits. The video clip showed an infant in a crib and in a bath chair, so we will likely get those in the same update. I also saw a few clutter items like a nappy basket and a basket that had stacking rings in it. Although I am fairly certain that this will not act as a toy chest and it will instead be unusable clutter. I did notice there weren't any changing stations or specifically infant toys like playmats or swing chairs, so I reckon they'll probably be released in a dedicated infants kit or maybe even in the next expansion pack. Which, by the way, was touched on. I found it kind of funny how they did it. The presenter made a point of saying that they weren't even done with the updates, and whilst sipping tea, reminded us that an expansion was announced in the last live stream and that they would have more to share. Only to show a 2-second clip with literally no information about the pack, just the date of February 2nd. I just felt like that had to be a trolling moment. To imply that you're spilling the tea in an excited voice and making the audience feel like they should be excited for what's about to be announced, only to show that clip is pretty funny. So yeah, that was the live stream in a nutshell. I personally found it worth the watch just because there was a decent amount of information on Project Renee and the Infants update. If you watched it, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. But for now, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, you know I love it when you do that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.